Hello everyone, and welcome to another webinar from Kentucky Housing Corporation. My name is Mark Powell, and today we're going to present an overview of the 2014 Kentucky Weatherization Program Field Guide, introduce you to the new standard work specifications, and explain how it relates and works in conjunction with the new field guide. We will also do a comparison later in the presentation that will illustrate key changes that have taken place between the 2013 Field Guide and the new 2014 Field Guide. And in the last part of this webinar, we'll provide a presentation of how to work with the NREL Standard Work Specifications. This will help you understand how to use the new Standard Work Specifications in your daily work activities. We hope you'll find this presentation helpful today. The new 2014 Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide is posted on the KHC website, and you can go to www.kyhousing.org. First of all, let's talk about the main objectives of the new field guide. In our weatherization program, we deal with a wide variety of housing stock. From this old house with asbestos siding that uses a propane heating system, to more modern homes such as this one that uses a heat pump system for heating and cooling, to manufactured homes such as this single-wide mobile home that utilizes a forced air electric furnace. The field guide and the standard work specifications will enable you to properly address any type of home that you encounter in a manner that satisfies the requirements of the Weatherization Assistance Program. First of all, let's talk about the main objectives of the new field guide. To outline a set of best practices for the Weatherization Assistance Program that comply with DOE requirements. To introduce the Standard Work Specifications, also known as the SWS, developed by the National Renewable Energy Lab and mandated by DOE effective July 1, 2015. And to demonstrate how the new SWS works in conjunction with the new 2014 Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide. In this section, we want to introduce the Standard Work Specifications. The SWS are a new set of publications that tie in directly with the new field guide. Information regarding how to access the website to use the SWS will be provided later in this presentation. Weatherization experts collaborating with the National Renewable Energy Lab developed the Standard Work Specifications beginning in 2009. The Standard Work Specifications present details and outcomes for weatherization measures that are required when a weatherization agency selects a weatherization measure based on its cost effectiveness. We will utilize the Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide and Standard Work Specifications so you can choose the proper type of materials to use in a particular work application and achieve the proper results that satisfy the requirements of the Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide and the Standard Work Specifications. Here is a screenshot of the home screen of the NREL website that contains the Standard Work Specifications and other helpful information. This website contains a wealth of information to provide you with guidance on how to effectively and safely prescribe a set of work measures that will enable a home to realize significant energy savings and be a safer and healthier home to live in as well. At this website, you can learn to use the SWS tool and read an introduction to the Standard Work Specifications. The categories covered in the SWS include the following items: health and safety, air sealing, insulation, heating and cooling, ventilation, and base load. In the lower section of the website, there is also a guidelines section a news and updates section. And there are also instructional videos you can watch to assist you in learning how to use the standard work specifications as they relate to the Weatherization Assistance Program. The purpose and features of the new field guide. A major purpose of this guide is to show you how its contents are aligned with the standard work specifications, also known as the SWS. Hypertext has been inserted in the field guide to provide references to the specific SWS details that the field guide content aligns to. And when you click on one of these hypertext references, the relevant detail from the SWS appears in your internet browser. Now, when you are working with an electronic copy of the new field guide and your computer has a working internet connection, this feature will enable you to go directly to the SWS from the field guide and get additional details that you can use to assist you in determining what particular task needs to be performed, how that task is to be performed, the types of materials that are required, and the desired objective to be realized from performing that task. Also, being aligned with also means the materials and methods of installation contained in the field guide satisfy the requirements of the standard work specifications. Here's an excerpt from the new field guide. 3.5 Insulation Material Characteristics. Directly below it will be a hypertext that lists the section of the SWS you can go to for seeing details about this field guide topic in the standard work specifications. And directly below the hypertext is a discussion of section 3.5 of the field guide. If you click on the above hypertext, it will take you to that section of the standard work specifications located on the NREL website that gives you complete details about this topic. For illustration purposes, let's take a quick look at the screenshot of what the website looks like when you go to it on the next page. On the web page displayed, you will see the topic Ignition and Thermal Barriers for Spray Polyurethane Foam, the desired outcome, specifications required for the material, and objectives of the work measure. You can also click on the reference standards to get a detailed listing of applicable standards, and you can click on the general information on spray polyurethane foam to get additional details about the material as well. We'll come back later on in the presentation to take a closer look at the SWS, but for now, let's move on. This guide also incorporates information from the following standards and specifications: DOE Weatherization Job Task Analysis, Building Performance Institute's, known as BPI, relevant standards, Weatherization Assistance Program Policy Directives from 2005 to 2013, the International Residential Code of 2012, the International Energy Conservation Code of 2012, Standards for Combustion Systems by the National Fire Protection Association, known as NFPA, 2009 editions, including NFPA 54, 31, and 211. Now, the Job Task Analysis was developed by the National Renewable Energy Laboratory for DOE. The JTAs for single-family home energy upgrades reflect the four most common job classifications in the U.S. Department of Energy's Weatherization Assistance Program and home energy upgrade industry, cataloging the knowledge, skills, and abilities that a practitioner needs in order to perform a given job effectively and safely. These job classifications are as follows: Energy Auditor, Retrofit Installer Technician, Crew Leader, and Quality Control Inspector. The BPI Relevant Standards refers to the BPI technical standards for the building analyst professional. WAP Policy Directives refers to the Weatherization Assistance Program policy directives issued by DOE. IRC 2012 is a comprehensive code for home building which combines building, plumbing, mechanical, fuel gas, energy, and electrical provisions into a single resource. It has been adopted by 48 states, including Kentucky. The IECC 2012 was published by the International Code Council. This codebook fosters energy conservation through efficiency in envelope design, mechanical systems, lighting systems, and through the use of new materials and techniques. And NFPA covers safety code requirements for gas, fuel oil, and solid fuel. Now here is a reminder and some additional key things you need to remember. As mentioned previously, the field guide is now aligned with 2 standard work specification guides. There is one standard work specifications guide published for site-built homes and one published for manufactured homes. The SWS requirements go into effect on July 1, 2015. Under the SWS, in conjunction with the Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide. Use the SWS in conjunction with the Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide. To obtain copies of the SWS, please go to sws.nrel.gov. Alrighty, now here is a picture to illustrate one type of home you will encounter. A typical site-built home can sometimes present challenges and cause you to ask yourself many questions about the best approach to use in weatherizing this type of home to achieve the greatest energy savings and ensure the home is safe and provides a healthy environment to live in. For example, in this house above, one of the things we need to do is to find the thermal boundaries of this home and determine the best areas to air seal and install insulation. This would also involve determining whether the upstairs and the shed roof areas are conditioned or non-conditioned areas of the home. This is where the new Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide, working in conjunction with the standard work specifications, can provide you with the proper guidance. Now, in the next part of our presentation, we're going to explore what changes have taken place when we compare the old Weatherization Field Guide to the new SWS-aligned Weatherization Field Guide. Summary of changes made between the 2013 and 2014 Kentucky Weatherization Field Guides. As mentioned, let's discuss how different parts of the 2 field guides have changed in terms of chapter locations, revisions of various topics, subject matter being moved and placed into different locations of the new field guide, and so forth. In the slide above, we have listed in the left column a summary of what the old field guide contains, and then in the right column, we will point out how the new field guide has changed with regards to a particular topic or section. First of all, in the 2013 field guide, it is not aligned with the SWS. The 2014 field guide is aligned with the SWS. 2013 guide contains 9 chapters. The new guide contains 12 chapters. The old guide contains 403 pages. The new guide contains 574 pages. In the old field guide, health and safety was in chapter 9. In the new field guide, health and safety is now in chapter 1. In the old field guide, chapter 9, health and safety, has no section for gas range and oven safety. However, in the new field guide, in the new location of chapter 1, health and safety adds section 1.4 for gas range and oven safety. The biggest change, to reiterate, that affects all relevant sections of the new field guide is that all topics have been revised to align with the new standard work specifications, so that the materials, methods of installation, pre-work preparation, safety preparation, and so forth, described and illustrated in the new field guide, will be aligned with and satisfy the SWS requirements. And please remember, the old field guide does not align with the SWS. In addition, various sections of the new field guide that may require additional details and more guidance will reference and point you to the SWS, where additional details and more in-depth information will be provided to help you achieve results that satisfy DOE requirements. Now, another important way the field guide and the SWS can provide effective guidance is in the area of health and safety. Here's a photo of a gas water heater and a 90-plus gas furnace located in a utility room of a home. These appliances must be thoroughly inspected and tested as part of the dwelling needs evaluation energy audit work process under the health and safety category. The results of these health and safety tests and assessments play a major role in the decision-making process with regards to what work measures must be performed on a home. For example, this placement of a gas water heater and a 90-plus gas furnace need to be carefully evaluated to ensure that both appliances are installed in accordance with all safety codes that apply, for example, such as NFPA 54, and to ensure that each of these appliances operate in a safe and efficient manner independently and in relation to one another in the combustion appliance zone, also known as the CAZ, and in relation to how they interact with the rest of the home and its other components as well. Referring to the relevant sections of the field guide and the standard work specifications will help you to ensure that the above situation can be evaluated properly and any issues or problems identified will be addressed in a manner that satisfies DOE requirements. Now let's continue on. With regards to health and safety, in the left column, we will look at subject matter that is contained in the 2013 field guide, and in the right column, we will show you where that subject matter is now contained in the 2014 field guide, as well as some of the other changes that have taken place. In the old field guide, Chapter 9, Health and Safety, as we mentioned, no section was written for fire safety. In the new field guide, in Chapter 1, Health and Safety adds a section 1.1 for fire safety. In the old field guide, Health and Safety Chapter 9, we had whole building ventilation systems included in that chapter. In the new field guide, that has been removed from the Health and Safety chapter and moved to Chapter 9, and the title has been changed to Ventilation. In the old field guide, in Chapter 1 of Energy Audits and Customer Relations, that was moved to Chapter 2, and the title was changed to Energy Audits and Quality Control Inspections. Chapter 4, Air Sealing Homes, in the old field guide, has been replaced with Chapter 3 and given the title Weatherization Materials, and Chapter 12, Air Sealing Diagnostics. Continuing on, in the old field guide, Chapter 5 contained the installation methods, preparation work, and types of materials to use for insulating attic and roofs, wall insulation, floor foundation insulation, and duct insulation. In the new field guide, these home components have been given separate chapters. Chapter 4, Attics and Roofs, for example, contains information on how to air seal attics, prepare attics for insulation, perform safety preparation for attic insulation, blowing attic insulation, and installing fiberglass bats in attics. Chapter 5, Walls, for example, contains information on how to air seal walls, installing dense pack insulation in ballooned framed walls, minor air sealing, preparation and follow-up procedures for installing wall insulation. Chapter 6, Floors and Foundations, for example, contains information on air sealing foundations and floors, preparing for foundation or floor insulation, installing floor or foundation insulation. Now, in the old guide, in the left column, Chapter 6, Windows and Doors, has been moved to Chapter 7, Windows and Doors. In the old field guide, Chapter 7, Evaluating Heating and Cooling Systems, has been moved to Chapter 8 and retitled Heating and Cooling Systems. Lastly, in the old field guide, Chapter 8, Mobile Homes, has been moved to Chapter 11 for mobile homes. In summary, the biggest change here is that air sealing measures have been incorporated within each category of Chapters 4, 5, and 6, as well as SWS alignment. Chapters 6, 7, and 8 of the old guide have moved to new chapters of the new guide and include revisions to provide SWS alignment. As mentioned earlier, health and safety was in Chapter 9 of the old field guide, but it has now been moved to Chapter 1 of the new field guide and includes new sections for fire safety and gas range and oven safety. Chapter 2, baseload measures, has been moved to Chapter 10. In addition, new sections in the new field guide have been added to include entertainment and computer systems, clothes washer selection, replacement, clothes dryer selection, replacement, and comparing water heaters. In the old field guide, under Chapter 8, mobile homes, mobile home heating has been removed from the mobile home section of the new field guide and moved into Chapter 8 of the new field guide. In addition, mobile homes has been moved to Chapter 11 of the new field guide. In the old field guide, diagnosing shell air leakage, that has been moved to Chapter 12 and retitled Air Leakage Diagnostics. The appendices have been changed as well with regards to subject matter and locations in the manual. The following appendices from the old field guide have been eliminated and do not appear in the new field guide. Resources, required diagnostic equipment, and calculating attic insulation. Our values for common materials was on page 383 of the old field guide. Now it is on page 491 of the new field guide. And the following new appendices appear in the new field guide. Ash rate 62.2, example calculation, on page 492. Ash rate 62.2, duct sizing, on page 493. And fire testing and rating on page 494 of the new field guide. Continuing on, the following appendices from the old field guide have been eliminated and do not appear in the new field guide. Calculating wall insulation, calculating mobile home insulation, measuring BTU input on natural gas appliances, and DOE health and safety guidance. The following new appendices appear in the new field guide. Maximum CAS depressurization on page 495. Gas furnace output table on page 496. BPI, CO, and draft decision table on page 497. And refrigerator dating chart on page 498. Now in this next slide, we're going to illustrate how the SWS alignment works and how to utilize it to your advantage. In the left column from the field guide, 2014 field guide, we see the section for a combustion safety evaluation on page 251 of the field guide. To get further details about this topic, look at the right column and you will see reference sections of the SWS you can go to for further details and other information. For example, 201051, combustion worker safety, combustion analysis of gas-fired appliances for LP and natural gas, and combustion analysis of oil-fired appliances. We'll give you more details and link with this section. Another section of the field guide, carbon monoxide testing on page 254, will take you to SWS detail referenced 201051, combustion worker safety, 203012, carbon monoxide alarm or monitor, and in the field guide, worst case CAS depressurization testing on page 254, SWS reference that you can go directly to from here, combustion worker safety, combustion appliance zone testing, and combustion safety. Here's another example. In the left column is a topic from the 2014 field guide, and in the right column is the corresponding topic and the standard work specifications with various breakdowns. For example, in the left column, in the SWS alignment section, look at sealing major air leaks and bypasses. On page 130 of the Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide, and in the right-hand column are sections of the SWS that will give you additional details and guidance for penetrations and chases, chase capping, walls open to the attic, and balloon framing and double walls. Now let's look at air sealing safety in the left column. In the right column is the SWS reference for this, which is entitled Air Sealing Worker Safety. Moving on, Section 3.2.1, Air Sealing and Fire Containment, corresponding SWS detail, will reference you and guide you to dense pack preparation, penetrations and chases, chase capping, walls open to attic, balloon framing, and double walls. And finally, in Section 3.5.2, Operating and Insulation Blowing Machines, will take you to SWS detail for dense pack preparation and insulating inaccessible attics. Later on, we will show you how to access that information on the NREL website pertaining to the SWS for various topics. In the next section, we will illustrate how to utilize the Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide in conjunction with the standard work specifications for manufactured homes. Now, here is a section with reference to manufactured housing. For a topic in the field guide pertaining to mobile homes, in the left column is the section in the field guide for mobile home air sealing on page 444. And in the right column are references to the SWS guide for manufactured housing that discuss manufactured housing walls. When you go to the SWS under that topic, you can also drill down into other subtopics that are more specific, such as exterior holes and penetrations located in manufactured housing exterior walls, and methods used to seal them. Another section in the left column shows the topic of insulating mobile home roof cavities on page 450. In the right column are relevant SWS topics that will discuss how to insulate for a flat, bowed, or vaulted ceiling using the interior method, the side lift of the roof method, or installing from the top of the roof. The SWS will also provide details and guidance on how to insulate if another roof has been built over top of the original roof of the manufactured home. Using the standard work specifications. In the next section of this presentation, we're going to give additional background information on the standard work specifications to help you become more familiar with how it works and why we will be using it. The standard work specifications synthesize more than 30 years of building science expertise within the United States Department of Energy, Weatherization Assistance Program, and the greater industry by identifying the desired outcomes of the individual measures performed during a whole house energy upgrade. They combine original content with references to relevant codes and technical standards that currently exist as independent standalone documents. Using the standard work specifications. The next set of slides are going to help you gain an understanding of how to work with and use the standard work specifications from the NREL SWS website. We will explore each of these items step by step as follows. Significance of the whole house assessment, a specification example, how the numbering scheme works in the standard work specifications, climate zones, codes and standards, healthy indoor environment protocols, here's a screenshot from the NREL Standard Work Specifications website. Let's go over the first section. Significance of the whole house assessment. The Home Assessment Energy Audit is a vital component of the home energy retrofit process. It is imperative that a qualified auditor perform a home assessment by following a high-quality audit procedure recognized by the Weatherization Assistance Program or another program sponsor. Once the auditor has conducted a whole house assessment and developed a list of recommended measures, the SWS can be used to identify the desired outcomes of those measures and to assess the quality of the completed work. As this section states, the auditor must follow an audit procedure that's recognized by the Weatherization Assistance Program. This will include all procedures included in the Kentucky Weatherization Program Manual, the Kentucky Weatherization Field Guide, the standard work specifications, and all applicable codes. Here's another screenshot of an example to illustrate how the SWSs are displayed and how you can interpret and use them in defining your work. The SWS identify and define the desired outcomes of a particular energy efficiency measure, stated as objectives, and then list the minimum specifications needed to meet those outcomes, as shown below in the example below. In section 410061 for pull-down stairs, we'll take a closer look now. In the specifications column, it defines the minimum level of actions required to meet the objective. Let's look at the language and purpose. Hatches will be insulated with non-compressible insulation, and the measure will include a protective barrier or baffle. Pull-down stair assembly will be insulated to the same R value as the adjoining insulated assembly, for example, the attic area. Pull-down stair rough opening will be surrounded with a durable dam that is higher than the level of the attic floor insulation. Now, in the objectives column, it defines the required outcomes of the work. Let's look at the objectives. First of all, to achieve uniform R value and prevent loose insulation from entering the living area. Now let's take a look at how the numbering scheme works. We will start with an overview of the numbering scheme. The SWS are organized into 4 layers, reflecting how an individual may approach a whole house assessment or audit, and it goes from general to specific. The layers are ordered by section, topic, subtopic, and detail, as shown in the graphic below. Each section contains multiple topics, and each topic is further divided into subtopics and details. The same numbering system utilized in the printed document is also included in this outline online tool as a quick way to find specific information. The numbers are organized into 4 layers. Now we will look at each set of numbers and see how each set are used to navigate around in the SWS. Let's look at the first digit. The first digit indicates section, and this detail is from section 3 from air sealing. Now let's look at the first 2 numbers of the second digit. The first 2 numbers of the second digit indicates topic. 10XX is reserved for attic. Now let's look at the second 2 numbers of the second digit. The second 2 numbers of the second digit indicate subtopic. This detail is from the first subtopic within this topic. The final digit indicates detail, and this is the third detail within the penetrations and chases subtopic. Topic numbers align across sections. Subtopics do not align across topics, except within the ventilation section where subtopics are parallel. Now we will discuss the definition of climate zones. Several details and specifications offer guidance on regional climate considerations. The SWS share the same definition of climate zones as the Building America program, and please refer to the Building America site for definitions of the major climate zones and where they are located. Now, we utilize climate zones so that a set of weatherization work measures can be defined and tailored to fit a particular climate zone we are working in, so we can achieve the greatest energy savings for each particular climate zone. In other words, you will most likely prescribe a different set of work measures for a house located in Florida than you would for a house located in Minnesota. The SWS used the same definitions of climate zones as mentioned as defined by the Building America program, and you can refer to the Building America website for definitions of the major climate zones and where they are located. While the SWS will help identify the desired outcomes of energy efficiency measures in a weatherization or home energy upgrade project, they are not a replacement for the codes and or technical standards mandated by a particular jurisdiction. State, local, or municipal code or ordinance has legal precedents, and users should obtain copies of the applicable codes and standards for their jurisdiction before performing the work. Please note, references to codes standards in the SWS do not constitute an endorsement. The main thing to remember about this section is that the standard work specifications are not a replacement for the codes or technical standards that may be mandated by a particular state or local jurisdiction that has authority in this area you're working in. In that case, you will need to get copies of their standards and or requirements and make sure that your work satisfies those applicable standards that supersede any SWS standards referenced. Now, moving on. Numerous national standard bodies have provided significant insight and input into the SWS. The 2012 International Residential Code for one- and two-family dwellings serves as the primary reference standard. In order to limit redundancy, standards that are already referenced within the IRC are not restated within the SWS. However, when a standard is not addressed by the IRC, it is referenced within the referenced standards as an additional resource. Now, in this section, we will discuss the role of the EPA in relation to the SWS, starting with the first paragraph. The SWS and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Healthy Indoor Environment Protocols for Home Energy Upgrades were developed in conjunction with one another and are intended for voluntary adoption by weatherization assistance programs, federally funded housing programs, private sector home performance contractors, and others working in the residential energy upgrade industry. Together, the complementary documents provide a robust and practical set of resources for home energy upgrade contractors, trainers, and program administrators, help improve the quality of the work performed in this expanding industry, promote occupant health and safety, and will assure consumers that high-quality work is performed. You can read more about the Healthy Indoor Environment Protocols for Home Energy Upgrades on the EPA website. Basically, the SWS and EPA Healthy Indoor Environment Protocols were developed in conjunction with one another, as mentioned. This concludes our presentation of the summary of changes between the 2013 and 2014 Kentucky Weatherization Field Guides and the introduction to the standard work specifications. We want to thank every service provider and their staff for all of their efforts and hard work in making our weatherization assistance program such a success throughout the great state of Kentucky. If you have any further questions, you can contact one of our staff listed here for further assistance: John Cora, Deanna McCord, Mark Powell, Charlie Smith, and Troy Gosser. Thanks for your time and participation in this presentation. Have a good day.